this phrase understates the vast Amazon basin. An immense, dense, verdant jungle blanketing 3 million square miles of the delta. Yet this seemingly hostile environment is home to several isolated Indian tribes who usually live in large communal structures such as this one. Though they are in contact with the modern world, they are reluctant to abandon other demanding practices of their ancestors, such as never allowing fire to die out and carrying live embers with them when moving through the forest. These scenes were shot in 1972 by a Japanese film crew that spent 4 months in the jungle of southern Colombia, land of the Macuna, Wanano, Maniba, and Cuneo tribes. There are no roads or pathways in the jungle. Rivers are the only means of traveling from place to place. But sudden flooding and violent rapids make navigation dangerous and exhausting. Suddenly, above the vegetation of the riverbank, a pitched wooden roof. These communal dwellings, called maloca, may house one or several families. This one is the home of Ignacio, the chief of the Macuna, who also happens to be the local blowpipe champion. He practices with harmless darts, but when he hunts to kill prey, the tips are coated with curare, which he extracts from these large-leaved liana vines. Ignacio refuses to divulge his secret for preparing this poison, but he allowed a few steps in the process to be filmed. Shavings from the bark of the liana are slowly pressed to squeeze out a brown liquid that is then filtered through a sieve. Preparing curare is serious business, and the process involves many taboos. For instance, the chief must not speak to any woman for 3 days before starting the process. Ignacio's son, the tribe's heir apparent, is the only one allowed to assist his father. By the last stage of the process, the concentrated extract is so lethal that it must be handled with extreme care. The arrow shaft is made from very rigid bamboo stems wound with strands of wild cotton. Finally, the tips are soaked for a while in the deadly poison. The Indians claim that these poison-tipped darts retained their effectiveness for nearly 6 months. Ignacio insists that his arrows are never used against another person. I use my blowpipe only for hunting monkeys and birds. Monkeys provide an excellent source of protein for those living in the jungle, but hunting them is difficult work. The approach of the rainy season is signaled by the swarming of the winged ants from their nest. This delicacy is well worth enduring painful bites from the worker ants that guard the nest. It's practically impossible to dislodge the aggressor. Even when you brush it away, its head remains attached to the wound and is a source of infection. When enough ants have been collected, they are grilled in a large pan. The ants can also be enjoyed raw. The jungle may be an abundant source of food, but certain delicacies are only available for short periods. The Indians have no means of preserving these treats, so they indulge themselves while they can, and later return to their meager vegetarian diet. Once again, we are at the mercy of the river and its perils. Unexpected problems, such as this fallen tree obstructing the waterway, can delay a journey for hours. The river begins to widen. We enter Wanano territory. A woman of the tribe has just given birth. A purification ritual is being performed in which the mother and her newborn are cleansed. The husband initiates the ritual. He blows clouds of smoke into his wife's face. A new mother has to be isolated from the community. She will be allowed to rejoin her people and to speak with them again only after being purified. Now it's the mother's turn to blow smoke in her baby's face. The ceremony is not over yet. The two parents, along with the child and his paternal grandmother, walk to the river. The grandmother tosses roasted poppy seeds into the river, marking the spot where the baby is going to be submersed, a form of baptism. This symbolic ceremony appears to dedicate the infant to the all-powerful river that will be its foster mother for the rest of his life. The expedition resumes its journey into the jungle. The rapids are swifter and more violent than usual. When they turn into waterfalls, the team are forced to portage around them, carrying equipment and canoes on their backs. Portage is extremely difficult and accidents are not uncommon. This time it's their half-Indian, half-Spanish guide. He slipped while attempting to hang on to his canoe and suffered an abdominal injury. Hospitals and doctors are unknown out here. In any case, Emilio trusts only the Indian medicine men. He asks to be taken to the Maniba tribe, where he knows a healer named Mondo. So that Mondo may enter his healing state, an assistant must first blow a ritual powder into his nostrils. Then Mondo blows the drug into the nostrils of his assistant. The powder is called yopo by some tribes and ibina by others. It's the powdered ash of certain plants and produces a hallucinatory effect like LSD. The ritual begins. Shaking their rattles, Mando and his assistant implore the Hekura, the spirits of the heavens that live in the clouds, to help them. Despite his confidence in the powers of Mando, poor Emilio does not seem reassured. Mando gazes skyward for a long while. He's studying the cloud formations that indicate which organ he should concentrate on and how to heal it. The Hekura finally acknowledge Mando's invocations. They tell him the part of the body to treat, the right side of the abdomen. Mando begins by sucking the area to extract the evil and pain from his patient. He has managed to seize and hold some of the evil, but not all of it. He must continue with the treatment. This time, victory is complete. Mando can now withdraw from his patient. He is now going to drive the evil far away. Mando has so closely identified with the patient that his own body has taken on the same symptoms. He must cleanse himself of the evil substance that is now intoxicating him. Mando is satisfied. He holds in his hand the small black stone that caused Emilio so much pain. Rational people may be skeptical of this form of healing, but the result speaks for itself. Emilio resumed his place in the team and did not once complain about the injury for the rest of the trip. The ritual is over, The shaman and his assistant thank the spirits for their help. In the same area of Colombia, another ceremony is being celebrated. Each year at this time, the Colombian Indians hold a large funerary ceremony to mourn the souls of those who have died during the past year. The masks are symbolic of the spirits that reside in the neighboring jungle. By tradition, they can only be used this one time. It will take at least 2 or 3 months to make new masks for next year. These masks represent the spirit of the giant butterfly. This is the spirit of the frog that chokes the river. This is the spirit of the beetle. And this the spirit of the fish. The giant spiders that haunt the undergrowth are represented by these 2 masks. Everyone, participants and onlookers alike, begin chanting a hymn to the dead. It's an invitation to their souls to go and live in the heart of the jungle, where the spirits have all agreed to watch over them. Some of the spirits roll on the ground. Such a figure can embody the deceased, the grieving relative and the animal spirit, all in one. Perhaps this marks the symbolic departure of the deceased. Elsewhere, a small group begins dancing around a collection of relics that belong to the deceased. To express their sadness, they begin proclaiming the good qualities of the dead. Oh, what a man he was! What a great hunter and skilled dancer! We will always remember his courage and how much he loved his children. We know the dead are gone forever. They have returned to the forest and will never come back. We are still living and nothing can console us. So let us drink and sing the rest of the night and dance together until daybreak. Family members rise one by one, extolling the virtues of their relatives and saying how much they will be missed. This funerary ceremony illustrates the profound pantheism of Amazon Indian society. The living and the dead, the jungle, the river, and animals of all kinds are intrinsically interwoven and completely inseparable. Each element an irreplaceable part of the whole. daybreak, the celebration ends, and the masks and costumes are removed and burned. The ashes, along with everything they represent, will be committed to the river. A symbolic melding of the natural elements, and a signal that a new year is about to begin.